The same is true with human beings also. But you have to do it scientifically. If you are a diabetic, don't start fasting and all that. Take the advice of a physician. What significance and importance has fasting in Ekadashi day? The significance is, this body is called Puram Ekadashadvaram Ajasyavakra Chetasaha. Kathopanishad, the very first mantra of a given Valli, fourth or fifth or whatever. There are 6 Vallis, Puram Ekadashadvaram Ajasyavakra Chetasaha Vimuktascha Vimuchyate. The third is missing in my mind. Vimuktascha Vimuchyate. The liberated gets liberated. You are ever liberated and you get liberated. That means you know that you are liberated. There is one line in between. There, this body is called a city of 11 gates. The 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas and 1 mind. These are the 11 gates through which the world comes into the system and the system goes out into the world. And on a day of fasting, you close all these 11 gates. So you don't eat, you don't engage other sense organs also in all kinds of activities. You abide in silence, you read something, don't eat, don't do any activity, don't speak. And all the 11 sense organs are constrained. There is a thing called constraint, sanyama. That's why the Ekadasha number is a sacred number for this reason. Because all the 11 organs are directed towards the vision of God. Therefore Ekadashi becomes important. And therefore the Tithi Ekadashi is connected. It is connecting numbers, Saptami is important because some 7 number connection is there. Chaturthi is important because some 4 number connection is there. This is the 11 number connection. This comes from Bhagavatam. Bhagavata is the starting point of this Ekadashi fasting. Rightly so. So you can fast on Ekadashi day. Is it recommended? Yes. It is recommended provided you have the required health for that. So take the advice of a physician. Mostly all young people can do it. Young and middle-aged people can do it. Old people have to be a bit more cautious about it. Some people commit suicide. Some get killed. It doesn't matter. When someone gets killed, it is the body that gets killed. When someone commits suicide, it is again the body that gets killed. Na Atma is nayam hanti na hanyate. The Atma doesn't kill, nor it gets killed. You are students of Gita. In Vedanta, there is no suicide except the suicide of the knowledge kind. So in Ishavasya Upanishad, the 3rd mantra says, I said the 3rd mantra says, but now I should remember the mantra. Andhantam, no, not that. Eke chatmahano janaha, that is the 4th line. Thank you. Asurya, not Asurya. Asurya. Asurya namate lokaha. Like that. Andhena tamasa vrutaha pravishanti eke chatmahano janaha. These people, they are suicidal in their approach. They kill themselves. Atmahanaha. That is the suicidal. They remain in ignorance. They don't know the truth of the self. They allow the life to be wasted without knowing the self. That is the suicide. There is no other suicide. We don't recognize any other suicide. And then death. We don't recognize either death either. There is no death for you. It is the body which dies. And let it. Why should it not die? It is meant to die. So let it die. Even earlier the better. So that getting bhiksha etc. will be over. So one thing is over. Therefore, what are you talking about? There is no death, there is no suicide. You are imagining all these things. You see, somebody was found dead near a temple. Not the person, not the jiva, not the atma. Only the body was found dead near the temple. Just because the body was found near the temple, will it bring any particular sanctity to that death? Or the body is found near a club or near a drinking place, will it make less sacred or less sanctified? I don't think so. You are imagining. Stop imagining. Understand that Atma has no death and be free. Does the jiva merge with Hiranyagarbha? Yes. Every jiva merges in Hiranyagarbha. It is like asking, will every river merge in the ocean? Yes. In a general way, some example I have given. Will every raindrop merge in the ocean? Yes. The raindrop becomes a small creek. They all come together to make a small creek or a rivulet, and then a cascade of water or a creek, and then a tributary, then the river, and then merge in the ocean. Every drop of water merges in the ocean. You know why? Because it came from the ocean. Therefore, that is the case with every life form. What should be the right approach to get rid of from a serious addiction or kind of sin? What is sin? What do you mean by sin? Addiction is not sin. Addiction is addiction. Suppose somebody addicted to smoking, you don't call him a sinner. He is addicted to nicotine. That nicotine is like that. It is the worst alkaloid, and it develops a craving for the nicotine content in the blood, and that is how the people are addicted to smoking. And so it is not a sin as such. Should we suppress that? Suppress what? Addiction, you should not suppress, you should get rid of it. Some other appropriate approach is required. You should get rid of the addiction. Don't try to make it somewhat emotional or sentimental thing. Don't try to build a story around it. And don't try to make a religion around it, positive or negative. Just leave it where it is and see you should get rid of it. It is not good for health, an addiction. Whether it is smoking or alcohol, they are very bad for health. Physical health, bad for physical health and bad for mental and spiritual health also. All the way bad. Therefore, you should get rid of it. But it is easier said than done. Therefore, you should take support. If it is alcohol addiction, right away go and join Alcoholics Anonymous and take all the help that you can get from them and get rid of the addiction. If it is smoking addiction, there are easier ways. Smoking is more difficult than alcohol. Smoking is worse than alcohol as an addiction. With help from these support groups, alcohol addiction can be overcome. But smoking is very difficult. So you should have a tremendous willpower to get rid of smoking addiction. So you have to work on those things. Sometimes one wins and sometimes defeated and feel guilty about it. I understand. It is not a first you come out of this sin idea. There is no sin or any such thing. I appreciate that you wanted to get rid of it and made an effort. God bless you. You should be complimented for that. You made an effort and you are defeated. That is not your fault. The addiction is like that. That's why it is called addiction. Knowing full well that it is bad, yet you cannot avoid it. That is how an addiction is defined. You have to take support from professional people and consult a physician who knows well, who is an expert in that field, and take support from such groups and try to get rid of it. At the end of it all, finally it depends upon your willpower. You should have that tenacity of purpose and willpower. Generally, the people who want to overcome addiction, they try a gradual method. Means, suppose cigarettes. I smoke, suppose the person smokes, say, 20 cigarettes per day. That is too much, I suppose, I don't know. Say 12 cigarettes per day. Then he thinks that let me cut down to 8, and then to 4, then 3, then 1, like that. It may work, maybe it worked for some people, I don't know. But generally that method will not succeed. The chances of success are less for such a gradual approach, because the craving will remain and you will be suffering from that craving for longer duration, because you are always reinforcing the craving by taking one more cigarette and all that. So the craving is never totally addressed in that method. Therefore, that method is not highly recommended. There is a method called cold turkey method. That is how it is called. There is some reason for calling it cold turkey method. In that method, you stop altogether. I added a small recommendation to that. How to stop altogether? You look within and take a vow. The vow is, I will go to hospital and join the hospital, or I will die, but I will not smoke. That is the vow. Be prepared to die. What is there? There are so many people in the world, one person less is not going to hurt anybody. No, family will be better off. You don't know. You are imagining all these things. Be a bit ruthless about it. Be prepared to die. I will die. Or I will fall unconscious and somebody will put me in the hospital. And whatever happens, happens. Be a kind of foolhardy about it. Be prepared even for death. You are not going to die. Just mentally be prepared. But I will not smoke. I will die, but I will not smoke. Something like karyam va sadhayami, kayam va patayami, deham va patayami. I will either allow the body to fall or I will accomplish this goal. You take such a vow and stop smoking. That moment onwards, no more, no last cigarette, etc. This moment I am stopping it, over. No more smoking with this body as long as this body is alive. This is the cold turkey method. You try it, it should work. Oh, enough. I will do this little.